Danny, we stood here 14 months ago and you made certain promises about improving this area. What's happened?
Well, as you rightly say, 14 months ago we made some promises. Following the election, I promised my residents that if they did put their faith in the Conservative councillor, then things would change. I'm pleased to announce, or pleased to unveil, that right here on the Crux estate where we stand, where we stood in that interview some time ago, here is evidence that, you know, with a little perseverance, results do happen. We've managed to, I recently said that we'd secured the money from Housing and Highways to resurface the parking bays. That took some extra time because I did actually spend additional time looking to get the roads done as well. And we've actually done, had a lot of meetings, made a lot of progress, and also I'm pleased to announce that as well as the parking bays which have successfully been done here, and the rest of the parking bays across the rest of the estate will be done on a 3-year cycle. The roads, in addition to the parking bays, will also have some attention done to them as well. So it's about time. It's really brilliant. I'm really pleased that the council has finally spending some money on the residents of the Crux estate and the residents of Stamford East and Corringham town, because for far too long they were neglected under Labour and they wasn't properly represented. So I'm very pleased.
And what feedback are you getting from your constituents?
Well, I think the residents are really pleased because the complaints during the election and throughout the past 14 months have been that the residents don't feel that enough was being done on the Crux estate in particular. The state of the parking bays wasn't adequate. No money had been spent on them in 25 plus years. The terrible state of the conditions of the parking bays was causing damage to the cars and to the surrounding areas. So the fact that these brand new parking bays have been surfaced, that is no longer a problem, and obviously hopefully these will last for many years to come.
Do you think, as a local councillor, that it's as the small matters, so to speak, without disrespecting, are as important as some of the bigger matters?
Well, of course, because the biggest question that residents ask us is, well, what does the council do for me? What do you do for me? If I vote for you, what are you going to do for me? And I mean, the past 14 months have been fantastic for me because I really wanted to prove to my residents that by putting their faith in a Conservative councillor, things would change. As well as big issues, ward issues like the resurfacing of the parking bays on the Crux estate, the complete fixing of all of the broken street lights on the estate was another success we've had. I've just closed, I've had just under 100, managed to close just under 100 rather, individual pieces of ward work. So in 14 months I've had just under 100 pieces of ward work that I've managed to close. Obviously some are still open, but I've been very busy. But that's because residents feel they're able to engage with me about issues that they have, and also I've actively sought those issues as well.
Great work, but are you a Crux estate one-trick pony?
No, purely because this area is important to me because it was one of the more disadvantaged areas that hadn't had suitable representation in the past. Freedom of Information request I've recently conducted has come back, as inspected, that no councillor had reported any issues on this estate, regardless of all of the spin. No other councillors had reported any issues on this estate, and there were 3 Labour councillors here before me. So that's one benefit. But in other parts of the ward, we've had tons of successes in the past 14 months. Wall repairs in the Elderly People's Complex in O'Donoghue's house, the metal fencing there for security reasons, the damaged wall repairs in Armstrong Close and Maples, which the residents were complaining was acting as an access route for youths, causing damage to vehicles. The local estate here has been added to the local housing's estate inspections, which is another success. As I mentioned, the street lighting as well. All of the damaged and missing road signs across the ward during one of my ward audits have been replaced and repaired, including that of Upton Close, where a Labour previous councillor used to live, was never repaired. These are just a number of issues, and I'm always actively seeking residents' issues, and I actually speak to residents directly. If they have any issues or concerns, they should contact me directly, either by email or by telephone, and I'm quite open to anyone who's got any issues. I'm quite happy to try and help them where they can.
The police are getting tough in Corringham and Stamford, in fact across the borough. Martial law or good old-fashioned policing?
I think it's brilliant that the police have requested, in partnership with the council, for antisocial behaviour order zones to be placed in Stamford and Corringham, especially around this sort of season of Halloween coming up. It can be quite a distressing time for residents. Obviously it's a bit of fun, but obviously there's a balance, and I think it's brilliant that the police, in partnership with the council, are taking these issues seriously. I think it is good that the police are taking things seriously. It is good old-fashioned policing. It's nothing to worry about. Actually, I think it's really good for this area, and it's good for Stamford East and Corringham town as a whole.